The sun was just rising over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the empty road ahead. Zara sat on her motorcycle, gripping the handlebars, feeling the cool breeze against her face. Her heart raced, not from nerves, but from pure excitement. This was her favorite part of the day, just her, the open road, and the roar of her bike beneath her. Zara had been riding motorcycles since she was 15. Now, at 21, she couldn't imagine life without her bike. It wasn't just a hobby. Riding was a way of life for her. The freedom she felt when she was on her bike, the thrill of the speed, and the connection with the road, it was unlike anything else. Her motorcycle was more than just a machine. It was a sleek black beauty, customized with her own hands. She had spent months saving up and working on it, making sure every part was perfect. From the engine to the paint job, it was exactly how she wanted it. And now, whenever she rode, she felt like it was an extension of herself. Today was a special day for Zara. She had been invited to join a motorcycle rally just outside the city, where riders from all over the area gathered to ride together, share stories, and show off their bikes. It wasn't her first rally, but each one was different, with new faces, new routes, and new adventures. She couldn't wait to see who she would meet this time. As she revved the engine, Zara took a deep breath and smiled. She loved the feeling of anticipation right before a long ride. The early morning streets were empty as she sped down the road, the sound of her bike echoing in the quiet air. The city slowly disappeared behind her, replaced by rolling hills and open fields. The wind rushed past, and Zara felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. When she arrived at the rally point, she could already see dozens of other motorcycles lined up in neat rows. Riders stood around, chatting and laughing, admiring each other's bikes. Zara parked her motorcycle next to a gleaming red Ducati and took off her helmet, shaking out her hair. She always enjoyed these events, not just for the ride, but for the sense of community. It didn't matter where you came from or what you rode. If you loved motorcycles, you were part of the family. "Nice bike," someone said, walking up to her. Zara turned to see a guy about her age, tall with a friendly smile. He was wearing a leather jacket, and his helmet was tucked under his arm. "Thanks," Zara replied, smiling back. "I customized it myself." He raised an eyebrow, clearly impressed. "That's awesome. Most people just buy their bikes and never touch them. It looks like you really know what you're doing." "Yeah, I've been working on bikes for a while now," she said proudly. "What about you?" The guy motioned to the Ducati next to hers. "That's mine. Not as custom as yours, but I take good care of it." They chatted for a while, talking about different rides they had been on, places they wanted to explore, and the thrill of the open road. It was always easy for Zara to connect with other bikers. There was something about riding that created an instant bond between people. As the rally officially started, the group of riders lined up, ready to hit the road. Zara found herself near the front, eager to lead the way. The route took them through winding mountain roads, with breathtaking views of valleys and rivers below. The sound of engines filled the air as the group weaved through the turns, each rider in their own rhythm. Zara felt completely in her element. The curves of the road, the power of her bike, the connection between her and the machine, it was all perfect. She could feel the excitement of the other riders around her, and it only made the experience more thrilling. Halfway through the ride, they stopped at a small diner by the side of the road for a break. Zara parked her bike and joined the others inside, grabbing a seat at the counter. The conversation was lively as everyone shared their favorite moments from the ride so far. "Have you ever thought about racing?" the guy with the Ducati asked her as they sat down with their food. Zara shrugged. "I've thought about it, but I've never done it. I guess I just love the freedom of riding without the pressure of competition." He nodded. "I get that, but you've definitely got the skills. You'd be great at it." Zara smiled, but she wasn't sure. Racing was a whole different world, and she didn't know if she was ready for that kind of commitment. For now, she was happy just enjoying the ride. As they finished their break and got ready to head back out, Zara couldn't help but feel a sense of contentment. She loved the open road, the challenges of riding, and the people she met along the way. Every ride was an adventure, and every adventure brought something new. The ride back was just as exhilarating as the first part. The sun was higher in the sky now, casting a warm glow over the landscape. Zara led the group for part of the way, enjoying the feeling of being at the front, the road stretching out ahead of her like a blank canvas. By the time they reached the end of the rally route, Zara was tired but happy. She parked her bike and took off her helmet, feeling the cool air on her face. The rally had been everything she hoped for, and more. As the riders gathered one last time to say their goodbyes, the guy with the Ducati walked over to her again. "If you ever want to try racing, let me know," he said with a grin. "I think you'd be amazing at it." Zara laughed. "Maybe one day. But for now, I think I'll stick to just enjoying the ride." They exchanged numbers, and Zara promised to keep in touch. As she rode home, the city coming back into view, she thought about the conversation. Maybe one day she would give racing a try. But for now, she was happy with where she was on her bike, with the open road in front of her and the wind in her hair.